Stay to the end of this video and you'll discover how a simple tactic used by the makers of the James Bond movies, and something I learned from Daniel Craig, James Bond himself, in a TV interview, how you can use that in your coaching business to make a lot more money. So stick with me. Now, before I tell you all about that, just take a moment and subscribe to my channel. Just subscribe to it because I make lots of really unusual angled videos. I come from different angles. I don't quite do things the same way other people teach marketing and coaching. So you'll want to be a subscriber so you get notified. Hit the little bell as well so you get notified about when I post new videos, and you'll get a different perspective on things. Right, so James Bond. At the moment, everybody's talking about James Bond because as I record this, the new movie No Time to Die has just hit the screens here in the UK. And of course, it's been a long awaited movie. I guess it is a kind of a video. I don't think we'll find that on YouTube for a while though. Now, what did Daniel Craig say? Because they had the stars of James Bond and of course Daniel himself on a chat show that I was watching over here. Now, you'll have heard him say this too. Now, we've waited a long time for No Time to Die, and the chat show host said to him and the other stars that were there with him, "Is there anything you can tell us about the plot?" And of course he said, "No, I can't." Now, there's stuff that we already know because we've seen the trailers, we know the car is in it, we know certain Bond cliches are coming. They're able to talk about that kind of lightweight stuff, and we know who the villain is, but we don't know what the plot is. We don't know the story, and we've also been enticed that there's a surprise at the end. Now, I haven't seen it yet, so there won't be any spoilers in this video, so don't worry about that. But the interview, when he said, "No, I can't tell you," of course that wasn't a surprise. Everybody knew that he would say that. Of course he can't tell us. But think about why that's the case. Now, this movie, because it's been such a long time, because we've had the pandemic, and so it was postponed, I think, at least twice. And the decision was made that it will not go to the streaming services. It was going to be released in cinemas whenever, and it turns out to be now, which is October or September. I think it was just the end of September here when it came out, 2021. So the point is, hundreds, maybe thousands of people who were involved with the making of that movie. So there's all the actors, including Daniel Craig himself, of course, but then there's the whole team who are part of that movie. Everybody from, the people who helped construct the scenery and the special effects and the stunt people, and imagine how many people are involved in that movie. In fact, if you really want to know, probably you can watch the credits at the end, and that will scroll for a very long time because there'll be hundreds and hundreds of people. Every single one of those people has been sworn to secrecy. That plot cannot be leaked. Now, why is that important for your coaching business? Well, I trained as a psychotherapist, and what that is called an open loop. Now, right at the beginning of this video, I said stay to the end, and I will tell you how to use that to make more money from your coaching business, your coaching practice, and I will. But I did that because that also is an open loop. In order to find out what it is, I've already told you, stay to the end. Now, I will close the loop. There's nothing more annoying than somebody giving you like a cliffhanger response. And by the way, cliffhangers, the old-fashioned way they used to do, well, they still do it in soap operas. They used to end a movie on, tune in next week for, find out what happens. And I believe that in the very early days of silent movies, the hero or the heroine would be, hanging on to the edge of a cliff, about to fall, and then they would cut to the credits, and you'd have to wait till the next episode or the next week. I think they're actually at the cinemas in those days, before the days of television. I'm not that old, but I've been told. And so you'd have to wait, go back another week, pay more money to find out how the hero or the heroine got out of it. So that's what's happening here. If Daniel Craig had said on that chat show, well, yeah, okay, I can tell you now, the surprise would have been gone. We'd probably have still gone to see the movie, strangely enough, but everybody understands that we want to be surprised. We want to, that is part of the entertainment thing. So in your coaching business, what do? Right now, you've got to, however you get your leads, there's going to be a point where you meet, whether it's on LinkedIn or through other social media, Facebook, maybe here on YouTube. However you get your leads, you're going to actually send them to the next step. That's called a call to action. Now, in order for them to want to go to the next step, go and get my free thing, book a call with me, whatever it is, the viewer, the listener, the person who's responded to you needs to have something that motivates them to do that. If you say, listen, I can do this and this for you, and this is how I do it, and you spill all the beans in one go, and everybody knows not to do that, but on the other hand, you don't want to be mean, right? But everybody understands that, well, you can't do that. You don't know who you're talking to. It's not that you don't want to. You don't know until you actually engage, especially in coaching or something related, therapy, consulting, any of those things. You've got to actually engage with the person. Like, what is it that you want? Right? So until you actually know something about them, you can't spill all the beans. You might have a very good process, method, technique, whatever, but there's no such thing as one size fits all when it comes to human beings and their dreams and ambitions, right? So you both parties understand that you can't at that point spill all the beans, but at the same time you are putting across, I have something that I know the way through this particular problem. I've been where you are, and if you want to know how I solved it and how I can help you to solve it, then do this next thing. Go and click a link, go and download my free guide, go and click something to book a call with me, whatever that is. Do you see? And that's the same as the James Bond thing. It's like, I can tell you that it will happen. For us as moviegoers, that particular Bond loop will be closed when we pay the money, buy a ticket and sit in the cinema, the movie theatre if you're American, and watch the film. Right? That's how we'll know. That's how that loop will be closed. But by Daniel Craig saying, no, I can't tell you, the only way that any of us are ever going to find out what actually happens in the James Bond movie is to go and see the James Bond movie. And your clients, the only way they're ever going to find out how you can help them solve their problem is to go and take the next step. So what you need to do is open a loop and start that at the beginning, right? That was right at the beginning of the interview with Daniel Craig. No, I can't. Now, he's James Bond, or at least he has been for the last however many years. And so people are expecting that. But right at the beginning of the interview, the host says something like, I don't suppose you could tell us anything about the plot. And Daniel Craig says, no, of course not. So that had already been set up. So we know that whatever else they're going to talk about on that TV chat show was not going to be the plot of the Bond movie. They talked about all kinds of other anecdotes and things that had happened during the making of it, and what he was going to do next now that he's hung up his James Bond hat, as it were. All of that came up, but he can't talk about the film. And you can do that too. Open a loop, talk about how you can help, and then say, I will show you how to do it. So you open a loop at the start of your video, your post, your marketing message, however you're doing it, sales page, however you're doing it. Right? I can help you with this. That's the hook. That's what gets us in. And then people are like, oh, how does it work then? And then you must close the loop, but in order to get the loop closed, they have to take the next step. For us, we have to go to the cinema and watch the James Bond movie. Make sense? So, what I want you to do to find out how you can use loops like this and how you can actually get more leads, and actually not just get more leads, but close them quickly at high ticket prices. I'm talking about 4-figure prices quickly without any advertising spend at all. And you can do that even if you're just starting out, if this is the beginning of your coaching practice, or if your coaching practice has kind of hit a glass ceiling and you're stuck. What I want you to do is there'll be a link on the screen. I think it'll come up on that side. I don't know, I can never remember. I'm looking at the camera, so it's all reversed to me. But there'll be a link on the screen. I think there'll be a link on the screen, and there'll definitely be a link in the description below. And you can get some. I've put together a free training on this. Right? It's free, and there is no sales pitch. Okay, so all you have to do, you need to invest about 1 hour of your life to get that free training, and I will show you 5 steps on how to put that entire process together and build or grow or expand your coaching business. So that's it. That's how the James Bond people, it just struck me because that's such a big movie. It's global, and they've all, hundreds, probably thousands of people have known what's in that movie but had to keep stum about it for such a long time, and that's very, very rare that happens. Probably never happened before in my memory anyway. So I hope that's been a helpful little nugget there for you. So click the link and as I said, subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll see you next time.